This is how I changed my mind about unblocking someone that I really care about on a very deep level. You see, only a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about how if you are situating yourself in the friend zone, which is something that a man would often do to himself unknowingly, thinking that it is the woman who puts him in the friend zone, but it is actually the man himself who positions himself in the friend zone, that is a form of lack of self respect. And therefore, that actually disrespects the woman he is actually interested in, and then she's going to exhibit some type of disrespect towards him in return. Basically, like a mirror effect. And I recall an experience like that. When you can wrap your head around that, it's kind of like very revolutionary to come to this realization that it was actually you yourself who allowed this situation to happen. Now, I changed my mind about blocking that person. Let's say you made a unilateral decision to make that romantic interest your partner, which is not a good idea. It comes from a very, I think, a bit of an insecure place, actually. Like, it comes from a selfish place, I think, like a little too selfish. But I did say a couple of times that you should block that person if that person doesn't recognize your value and they don't treat you the way that you deserve. And I think there's probably a lot more nuance to the situation than just merely recognition of your value. I think maybe the person may recognize your value. There's just more to it than that. I'm on a roll call here. I'm just kind of really going out with the flow, just whatever comes to mind, so bear with me. So, the reason I changed my mind about unblocking that person, let's say you have actually blocked them, you need to unblock them. This is my opinion now. I have changed my opinion, right? I say you actually unblock them. First, you block them. The reason you block them is not to punish that person. That is not a good idea. The only reason you should block that person is to really protect yourself. If you are being emotionally volatile, if you are kind of being in a very emotionally immature place, if you're coming from a very emotionally unstable place, you need to block them for your own peace of mind. But after maybe 30 days, you should probably unblock that person because for me, like, I've had people block me before in the past and it's not the greatest feeling. However, me being the one to block someone, I just, I don't know how people sit with that, to be honest. I come from a place where I wouldn't want to forgive that person. Forgiving someone is superior to blocking someone. Now, I can't speak for a lass because young women might think differently in terms of throwing someone out. It just really depends on if that person sees you as human or if they see you as a monster or if they just don't even recognize you on their radar at all. But I say forgive that person for their errors and forgive yourself for your errors because it's like holding onto a tightrope. You, as let's say a man, right? You were hoping, even just by the act of blocking, you're really holding on like a tightrope, really holding on for that outcome. You're really holding on for that that result that you were really aiming for, and you didn't get it. And so it's like, well, what do I have to do now? Well, if I can't get it, I may as well just block this person. But I think what we can do instead is just unblock that person. Still set yourself up for boundaries, right? When I say boundaries, I don't mean like enforcing them. I mean being able to even understand yourself with crystal clear clarity. What exactly is it that you will and will not allow per se? And this is super nuanced too. You can't just go throwing these out there. It's like, let's say the friend zone thing. If someone asks to borrow your car after it's made very clear that you are not someone who can be taken for granted, they probably already know this, but you are not someone who is in a position to be able to do that. If you go ahead and do that anyway, out of the kindness of your heart and the infatuation you have towards that person, then you have lacked self respect and that person will probably not jump into your arms. So, what you need to do instead is just Stay firm in yourself. Enjoy the other person's presence if they make their presence known to you, and enjoy that. If it's breadcrumbs, enjoy that experience, because it's like the talent story that I was just saying from the Bible, where the talents, the master gives the servants the talents, and they duplicate the talents, but the one servant who gets grumpy and upset and doesn't even do anything with the one talent he was given, what you have will be given more of. But even if you are someone who does not have, even what you do have will be taken away from you, right? It's the same thing, I think, when if you can literally just take away, like just think about that. You are going to take, yeah, I'm just trying to say, appreciate the other person's presence. And I don't align myself as someone who gives up. Like, by doing the blocking thing, is it really going to get you where you wanted anyway? And so if you really wanted to get where you wanted to be, you would probably have to do something much differently. Maybe it does mean unblocking them. Maybe it does mean going the very hard route of just letting that person be, just letting that person come to you on their own accord, on their terms. Maybe it does mean letting go of some strong outcome that you were desiring, and just let the outcome come to you if it just so happens to be. I mean, there are millions of variations of that outcome that are unimaginably awesome, and they're being pulled towards you, and you're kind of obsessed over the just one. And so, like, and what are you doing? Focusing on all the other million. There's not even hundreds of thousands of those bad outcomes, right? But what about the millions of good outcomes that are coming towards you, right? If you just kind of let them come towards you. And so this is why I really now kind of start promoting being in a state of effortlessness. And being in a state of effortlessness is fantastic, because it's just like when you become infatuated with someone, what did it really take for you to become infatuated with someone? Not much. Same goes for whoever is infatuated with you. Likewise, what does it really take for someone to really give up on you or end the relationship or block you even? Not much. Same for someone else towards you. It doesn't take a lot. Therefore, to enter into a relationship, for goodness sakes, even probably getting rich, it doesn't take a lot. It does not take a lot. It's like when you're driving a car. At first, it can feel a little bit, take a while, right? It can take a while. But when you are good at doing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, check, box list, I don't know, whatever off, over time, everything starts becoming second nature. That is the state of effortlessness. Everything becoming second nature. This is why I made a video the other day talking about go to the gym. Going to the gym should be second nature. You shouldn't have to be told to do that. And just like me, I'm practicing Russian just about every single day. I study for about 30 minutes 2 times a day. And it's like, okay, sure, I don't speak fluently yet, but I know I can see myself doing this. I visualize myself doing this. Like, it's no big deal. Kind of with crystal clear clarity here, that I can speak and understand Russian quite well. And I see myself being able to do this. And what does it take to really be in this state of effortlessness where it becomes second nature? You just speak the damn language every single day. That's what I do. Sure, I'm not fluent yet, but I still practice. And I guess it's the same with the relationship too. Like, if you just block that person, are you really practicing? Are you really putting yourself in a position where any outcome that's positive is going to come towards you? Or you're going to keep on holding onto that tight rope and just letting yourself be hooked on that outcome, and it just drains you? I can't do something like that. If someone wants to come to me out of pure joy, then I'll let that person come to me. If, you know, so I hope you learnt something there. This is going on Spotify, by the way, as this podcast. And if you've learnt something new here, fantastic. If you'd like to get a small course on how to stimulate someone's emotions, you can check out my bio on TikTok or Instagram.